everyone, welcome to Sexual Fridays, and my name is Benice and I'm going to be talking about a variety of topics based around sex and sexual health. The sex education that I received when I was growing up was inadequate. It didn't cover a lot of topics. It was very reserved, considering that Singapore is a very conservative nation, I would say. I've decided to take it into my own hands to try and help you guys, I suppose. It surprised me throughout the years that a lot of people around my age, and I'm 21, they still don't know a lot of things about sex, and they don't dare to ask, they don't dare to look it up because they think that it's very taboo. And here I am trying to tell you that it's really not as scary as you think it is. So today, for the first video that I'm making, I'm going to be dispelling some myths about sex. The first myth is that sex is supposed to hurt. So this was perpetuated, I think, for a very long time. So as I grew older, I learned new information. Your vagina is basically a muscle. What do we know about muscles? Muscles can get tense and they can also be relaxed. So when your body is tense, your vagina is also going to be super tense, and obviously it will be difficult to penetrate it. So when you're more relaxed and when you're aroused, your vaginal muscles will relax and it will be easier to penetrate. So it will become from this tiny little hole to something much bigger. People have a hard time putting it in for the first time because they don't actually know that they are too nervous to actually let their body relax. So I think that's a common problem that people have. A really easy way to solve this is to just use lube. Also, fun fact, there are some condoms, Durex, their condoms already have lube. It's an additional feature that their condoms have extra lube. Number 2, there's this really common sexual myth that you can lose your virginity to a tampon. So for those of you who are not very familiar, tampons are an alternative method to sanitary pads when a lady has her period. I started using tampons when I was around 17 years old because actually I had to go out with my friends to a water park. I was like, damn, I don't want to miss out. I just went up to a lifeguard and I was like, do you have a tampon? And then she just gave me one and I was like, oh cool. I went to the restroom and I just put it in and I didn't feel anything. I couldn't notice it to a point where I thought that it had dropped out. Actually, I have tampons at home and I can show you guys actually how big they are. For those of you who have never seen them before, be prepared, it's very shocking. This is a tampon. Can you see that? This tiny little thing is a tampon. So there are a few different types of tampons. This is the one that doesn't have an applicator. So the ones that have an applicator, they are contained within kind of like a shell. There's something around it and then there's something it's to help you push it into your vaginal canal. So this one doesn't have this. This is the one that I used for the first time and I was like freaking out, like I don't even understand. I just know that it goes up somewhere. If you do it properly, it shouldn't be uncomfortable. The first few times that I tried to use it as well, it was uncomfortable for me because I didn't know. When it hurts, it means that it's too near the opening of your vagina, so you just need to push it in deeper. There is a string. There's a string, like you can see this part. I think once every 6 hours you just pull it out and change it. I think that you can actually lose your virginity to this tiny thing. Okay, my hand is very small, but it's basically this size. It's like so tiny. And yes, it does expand when it absorbs the blood. You definitely cannot lose your virginity to a tampon. Also, I do believe that virginity is a social construct based solely to oppress women. Oh, number 3. Oh my god, this is a funny one. Number 3 is that condoms make sex less enjoyable. I have had people tell me that they don't use condoms because it doesn't feel as good. And while I think a lot of people can agree having sex without condoms feels quite pleasurable, it is partially about enjoyment, but condoms are really good so that first of all you don't get pregnant and you don't get some kind of weird disease. And I feel like guys who make excuses to say oh, I just don't use condoms because like they can't fit me or they don't feel as good for my dick. I'm just like, okay, congratulations. If your pull-out game is weak, then you're gonna be a dad. It's like people don't go for testing enough. If you are sexually active, please like seriously go and get yourself tested for STD. And it's not always just about about me, my pleasure. I think that's very selfish. So yeah, guys, just please use condoms. If you think that it makes it less enjoyable, there are those kind of really funky condoms that are ribbed and they have texture. It adds another layer of enjoyment for for both parties, and I think you should consider that instead of being super selfish about what you want. Number 4, I was very misinformed about it in the past as well. Virgin women, when they first have sex, they will always bleed, and if you don't bleed when you first have sex, you are not a virgin. What people refer to bleeding as like the hymen tearing. First of all, the hymen does not tear. The hymen is not something that will just break like that. The hymen is something that stretches. It's kind of like a rubber band. So obviously the first time when you have sex, like the hymen will stretch to its furthest extent, and then it will just go back like that. Vigorous physical activity, not just sex, can result in a hymen stretching, which is why sometimes girls, they're just like, oh my god, it wasn't even my period but I was bleeding. It's probably because you did a lot of exercise. I know one girl also who stretched her hymen, and when she was cycling, she cycled for like hours. It's not a sign of purity, I would say, because since there are different ways that some people can stretch their hymen, it's not something that's safe to assume that if she doesn't bleed, that means she's not a virgin. Because fun fact, when I had physical relationships with the first boyfriend that I started having sex with, I think my mom's gonna see this, I'm sorry, but yeah, I did not bleed because I used to dance and I used to do a lot of sports. In my secondary school life, I did actually bleed, and it wasn't like my period or anything, and I was like confused. I was like, what the hell is going on? But also because my ex-boyfriend, this is no shade, we had a good run together, but he also did not really understand the more technical and medical side of having sex. So he thought that I was lying to him that I had never had sex before, and I was just like, why would I lie to you? I don't know, like it was just so strange. Like when I think about it, I was just like, alright, like whatever man. Okay, you think what you wanna think about me, I really don't care. And okay, this one is one of the most common things that I hear people talking about all the damn time. This one is something that has irritated me for many years, and it's that having more sex makes the vagina loose. Wrong! You are fake news! The vagina is sort of like a rubber band in a sense that it can stretch to become very big, and then it can go back to roughly the same size that it was when it first started stretching. What I think is very funny is that guys think that their dicks can make a vagina loose, but I'm like, I don't know if you remember, but something else comes out of vaginas as well, and that's called babies, which are much bigger than your dicks. The vagina will naturally shrink back to somewhat that original size, so I don't really think that your dick is bigger than a baby's head. Baby's head is like what, this big when it comes out. Like if your dick is this big, like you really need to go and get it checked out. Having more sex does not make your vagina more loose, it just stretches it and then it will go back, it stretches and it goes back. People who say that, oh, vaginas get more loose, probably because when a girl gets more used to having sex, like they won't feel so nervous all the time when they're having sex, and their vaginas will be like, they'll be like that instead of like that. I hope that was very informative for you guys. I know that some of these points have been said before, so if you like to give it a thumbs up and share the video, because that would mean a lot to me. I hope that this helps people. I'm speaking with the knowledge that I have. I hope that it's accurate for the most part, and if there's anything that I need to know, please do comment below, because I would love to learn more. Also include your sources, because I actually really do love reading. If you want to see more Sexual Fridays, subscribe to my channel. I'll be back soon.